Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Boston Build. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Tommy Martin. I'm a doctor of internal medicine and pediatrics who is super passionate about health, wellness, and fitness, and I'm currently training for the Boston Marathon in April with the goal to run a sub 2 hour and 45-minute marathon. So in this series, I'm sharing with you days of my life as a physician, my whole training plan leading up to the Boston Marathon, and all the races I have getting me to the Boston Marathon. In this episode of the Boston Build, I'm sharing with you guys a day in my life as a doctor during a week on service. Let's get to it. All right, 4 miles done, 7:25 per mile pace, average heart rate 140. Now it's time to go smash those legs. Let's go. It is now 7:20 and we have made it to the hospital, and so I have to go in and get signed out at 7:30. So this week of training, we have a deload week. And the reason being is my weeks on service are very busy. And weeks on service as a hospitalist mean that we work 7 days straight. And working up in Boston, my commute adds to that workload. And so weeks on service, my body is really strained and my body is really stressed. And so knowing that my work week is going to lead to a lot of fatigue, a lot of increased cortisol, a lot more stress than usual, my coach usually puts my programming to where weeks on service up in Boston, where I'm commuting, working a lot, extra stress, extra fatigue, my training load for that week will be cut down drastically. And so this week will be a deload week on top of my week on service. And so what that looks like is a lot less miles. So starting from Saturday, which is when I started work, all the way through Friday, my last day of work, my mileage will cut down by about 60%. And then my lifting sessions, I'm also going to be cutting those down by about 60%. So as my work fatigue, cortisol, stress, all of that increases, I make sure to balance it out with my training schedule decreasing to not add on top of that fatigue. Because if you do that, what you'll notice is your resting heart rate will start to elevate, your HRV will be out of whack, you will not be recovering nearly as well. And all of that predisposes you to increased risk of infections, increased risk of getting sick, increased risk of injury. And so to combat all of that, there has to be a balance. And so you need just enough stress to continue progressing in your goals, but not too much stress to set you back. And so it's a fine balance, and you have to learn how your body responds to the different stressors. And what we found works best for me to achieve my fitness goals as well as not get injured or sick is to decrease training load as my workload at the hospital increases. So I'm going to get in there and get signed out, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what my day looks like during my service week.
Our day starts early with the night team signing out at 7:30 a.m. From 8 to 10 a.m., we're rounding with medical students and residents, discussing cases and making plans. 10 a.m., it's time to see patients and chat with families. Here, we break down complex medical info into simple terms because everyone deserves to understand their care. Lunch at noon, it's a mix of meetings until 2 p.m., juggling tasks and coordinating care. Afternoons are packed with writing notes and seeing more patients. From 2 to 3 p.m., then it's lecture time. Teaching residents from 3 to 4 p.m. keeps us on our toes and sharpens our skills. Finally, we sign out to the night team at 4 p.m., ensuring a smooth transition for the next shift. And that's a wrap on a typical day in the life of a pediatric hospitalist. It's fast-paced, rewarding, and all about the kids.
So that was an absolute fail of a day in the life video because I forgot to film after the hospital, and then now it's already Sunday. The week has already went by. So we can just talk about how the week went, and I did that short little AI clip there of what a day in the life was actually like. But anyway, we failed and the week is now over. So the week went really, really well. So I worked Saturday through Friday, which is our full week of service, so 7 days in a row. During those 7 days, every single day was what you guys saw. So 7:30 in the morning, I would get sign out from the night team, and then my day would end at 4 o'clock. Do that every single day throughout the entire week. My commute is about 3 hours total, about an hour and a half each way. So it makes for a really, really long day, but it was an incredible week on service. I absolutely love my job being an academic hospitalist, working with residents and medical students and nurse practitioners and PAs and things of that nature. It's just so much fun to be on a huge team and to get to do so much teaching and just build incredible relationships. So it was a great week. The other part of the week was my training, and I told you guys I'd be doing a taper week for this week. So let me just go through on Training Peaks my whole week of training, and then I'll talk a little bit about what ended the day today. So here on Training Peaks, you could see that Monday was just an easy 4-mile run. Tuesday was some track work, and so I did 800s, and these were at about a 5:27 per mile pace. I had Wednesday off. Thursday, I had a fast tempo 10K, which I did, I can't remember how fast I did that. Let's take a look. It was at a 6:34 per mile pace, so pretty quick little 10K there. Friday, I had off. Saturday, I just did some easy running. I technically could have taken that off as well, so just did a couple miles. Yesterday, I did just a quick 5K, and then today, the big session we had today was 21-mile run. So that puts over the last 7 days, I have done 42 miles of running, which was a little bit less than about the 65 to 70 miles that I have been doing. In terms of strength training, I lifted 5 days this week. I did 2 upper body days, 2 lower body days, and then just an accessory day. So still a pretty heavy week of training, but not nearly as heavy as what it is when I'm full go. So right now we are 3 weeks out from my marathon, and so today's session was that 21-mile run, which was brutal. It was an intense session with a lot of hard intervals. So let me break it down for you and tell you what we did. So this is what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to do a 2-mile warm up, do 2 miles hard around a 6:36 pace, and then 1 mile harder at a 6:11 pace, and then a half mile recovery at a 7:04 pace, and then do that 5 times with a 1 mile cool down. This is gonna be really hard to see, so let me just go to the very beginning here. So I did a 3-mile warm up, 7:14, 7:08, 6:55, and then a half mile cool down, and then I got into the hard stuff. And you can see my splits here: 6:22, 6:30, 6:07, half mile cool down, and then 6:16, 6:06, 6:40, 6:05, half mile cool down, 6:15, 6:27, 6:10, half mile cool down, which I went to the bathroom, that's why that one was a little slower, 6:17, 6:33, 6:12. And that is a huge 21-mile workout that'll put us into, we're almost into taper time, which next week's video I will be going over my whole taper plan for the 2 to 3 week taper plan that I'll be doing, and we'll cover that in the next video. But I feel good. The hay is in the barn. All of the hard work for the marathon is done, and now it's just time to recover, rehab, make sure I do not get injured before a race day. So we're almost there. So apologies that this video was a rough day in the life video, and hopefully the ones in the future will be a little bit better. But we're 3 weeks out from Salina, Kansas Marathon, progressing towards the Boston Marathon. This is the Boston Marathon.